Hi guys, welcome to another video. Have you ever spent ages retouching a focus stack because there's messy edges, halos or other artifacts? Well, today I'm going to be showing you a technique in Zareen Stacker that will make focus stacking a lot easier and will save you a lot of time. The technique is called slabbing, and this is where you divide your focus stack into smaller sections. So for example, you might have shot 100 images of a spider and you want to stack all of those. And instead of stacking them all in one go, like you would usually do, you divide it up into 4 to make it a lot more manageable. So you'll have 4 different stacked images. The first one will have probably just the front bit of the subject in focus. Then the next one will have probably the face. The next one will have the back. And then the last one will have the very far end of the subject. And then you bring those 4 images into your stacking software and stack those, and it will make it a lot more manageable for your stacking software. Now this sounds quite tedious compared to stacking all 100 images at once, but there's a reason why you'd use slabbing. For example, if you have a really deep focus stack of, let's say, 200 plus images, then using slabbing will make it a lot more manageable for your stacking software. It's also useful for complex subjects such as hairy insects, overlapping legs, translucent wings and antennas. Sometimes when stacking, your background can blend incorrectly, leaving you with halos around the edge of your subject. But with slabbing, it can do a great job at minimizing this. So essentially, slabbing is like trying to eat a cheeseburger in one bite. It's really hard to do, and you're going to end up with a big mess over your face. But if you try and eat that cheeseburger in 10 bites, you're not going to leave any mess, and it's going to be a lot more manageable. With the explanation out of the way, let's get into how you actually do it. I'm starting here in Lightroom, as this is where I store and edit all of my images. And you don't need Lightroom, you can just load your images straight into your editing software and start like that. For this demonstration, I'm going to be focus stacking this shot of a springtail, and I took this back in February. And I believe I shot this at 2x magnification with a Raynox DCR250 on the end of my lens. So that's roughly about 3x magnification. And because that's shot on micro four thirds, this is a full frame equivalent of around 6x magnification. There's a total of 76 images for this focus stack, and I've definitely shot deeper focus stacks than that before, but the reason I chose this as a demonstration is because the depth of field is extremely thin, and I'm shooting from the front of the subject all the way to the back, so there's a lot of errors that can occur when you have a shot like this. Let's take the first image for example. As you can see, the depth of field is extremely thin. It's only a tiny little portion of the antenna. And when I'm focusing from the front all the way to the back, there's going to be lots of overlapping features and lots of artifacts. I usually like to start by correcting the exposure and white balance of my images. So as you can see, on the left is the original and on the right is the quick edit I've just done to correct the white balance and exposure. And I've applied that to all 76 images so I can import those into Zareen Stacker now. To import the images into Zareen Stacker, I like to select the first one, which I highlight as green to indicate it's the first one. And then I come down to the last one, which I've highlighted red to indicate it's the last one. And then I hold shift and then click on the last image, and that's selected all my images now. And then if I right click on any of these images, hit export and then Zareen Stacker, that will load those 76 images straight into Zareen Stacker, ready for me to edit. All my images are now loaded into Zareen Stacker, and what you want to do to get started with slabbing is come up here to batch and then slabbing, and it'll open up this preferences menu. And what I like to do is set the stacking operation to DMAP. I just prefer the results of DMAP. There's less noise and it generally retains the color better. But it's up to personal preference. Just have a play around with that and see what you prefer. Then we've got frames per slab, and this is how many images are in each focus stack slab. So if I selected 15, I've got 76 total images, so that would mean I'd get 5 slabs. So my focus stack will be chopped up into 5 sections. Then we've got frames overlap between slabs, and what this does is help the slabs transition smoothly. I feel like 0 works perfectly fine for me for most shots. If it's something really complex or your frames are moving back and forth because you weren't able to get stable, then maybe using 3 or 5 might help in that case. But for me, a lot of my shots, 0 works perfectly fine. Then we've got where to save the output images. So there's lots of different options in here, which is great for different sort of workflow preferences. For me, I just prefer to keep only in projects. That seems to work perfectly for my workflow. Once you're happy with all the settings, you hit apply and then OK. And it'll bring up this other menu here. And all you've got to do is hit run all batches. And then it'll start stacking the images. As you can see here, it's got like a task list. So it'll start by aligning all the images. Then it'll move on to all the different slabs. So because I've selected DMAP as my algorithm to stack these images, that means halfway through the stack, it will come up with this menu telling me to set the contrast threshold. And when you do this, you want all the out of focus areas to be black and all the in focus areas to be visible. So about 96 looks good for this, and hit OK, and that will finish stacking that first slab. Then we've got to do the same for the rest of the slabs. All of our slabs are complete and you can see them down here in the output images. So we've got the first slab, which is just the antenna. Then we've got the second slab, which has just about reached the face of the springtail. And then the third one is a bit of the face and a bit of the body. Fourth one goes further back, fifth one even further back. And then the sixth one is literally just the hairs on the rear of the springtail. I now want to stack these 6 slabs I've created. And to do so, they need to be in my input files. And right now they're in my output files. So if I just select all these 6 slabs, come up to File, and then hit Save Output Images. And these are the settings I like to use. So TIFF, 16 bits, RGB. And then I untick that and then hit Save Images. And I'm just going to save them into here. I'm going to create a new folder just to be a little bit organized. I'll call it Exports. And I'll just save those in there. Once those images are exported, you hit OK, and then come on to File, Add Files, and select the images you just exported. All of the slabs are now in the input files, so I'm going to come down here and find them. They're at the bottom usually. And then you want to select all your slabs, come up to Stack, and then Stack Selected. You can either do PMax or DMAP. I generally like to do both, and I usually start with DMAP, and if that doesn't do amazing results, then I'll try PMax. Just got to set the threshold here, so about there looks good. And then once this is done, we'll see what the PMax looks like as well. I'm just going to maximize this window on the right to take a closer look at these results. So right now we're looking at the PMax, and it's done a really good job. Like I mentioned at the start, PMax does look a little bit grainy and the colors do look a little bit desaturated, but it's not too big of a deal. And as you can see, it looks really clean. There's only a few minor sort of problems with it, like the legs look a little bit translucent, which I can fix with retouching. This edge here looks a bit soft. I can probably paint that edge back in, but the rest of the image is looking really nice. And yeah, I'm really happy with the results with that. Moving on to the DMAP. As we can see, there's a few more artifacts, but the colors are looking a lot better. And it's looking a little bit brighter as well. As you can see, around the head, there's a few spots that are sort of missing, and on the legs here. And around the antenna is where it's the worst. As you can see, it's created quite a bit of a mess there. The same with the edge of the head here, and some parts of the body not painted in correctly, all of which can be fixed fairly easily in the retouching tab. So because I like the overall quality of the DMAP, I'm going to come down to my output images down here, click on DMAP, and then start retouching that. And what I can do in here is actually take parts from the PMax and paint them onto my DMAP. So if I come down to output images and select PMax, on the left is a preview of what I'm about to paint into my DMAP on the right. So everything on the right is what I'm working on, and then everything on the left is what I'm selecting to paint into that image. So I've selected the PMax because it's done a better job around the edges and in parts of the face. And what I like to use is the Pixels brush. I think if you buy a different license, I'll put it up on screen now what license you need to buy to unlock these brushes. because if you buy the standard Zareen Stacker license, you'll only have the details default brush. But if you get a different license, you'll unlock these brushes here. And I only really like to use pixels. I rarely ever use darken or lighten. And this is just a much softer brush, and it's better for painting something quite contrasty and grainy like a PMax onto my DMAP. So I'm just going to brush over these edges here by the feet because the PMax has done a much better job there, and that's just instantly cleaning it up. It's a lot less of a faff compared to painting in individual images like this, because you have to cycle through them and then find the right one, and it's just an absolute pain. So it saves you a lot of time if you just run 2 different algorithms and then paint one onto the other. So I've just spent a couple of minutes painting some of that PMax onto my DMAP, and I've now kind of painted all I can from that output image. And there's still some parts of the image that are bad on both output images, so both the DMAP and the PMax. And what you want to do with these areas is come into your input files and then find the exact frame where that artifact is. So right now I'm correcting this bit here, the edge of the head, and I've just selected this image because it looks like that's the one that's in focus. So yeah, that one, and then we'll just paint over there. And it's a lot more tedious going through individual images, but if you do slabbing, you'll do a lot less of this. And let's just check if there's any other areas around here. It looks a little bit messy. Wonder if we can fix that. So if we come on to the leg, the image that has the leg in focus underneath this antenna, I can paint some of that in. So it's gone a little bit muddy up here and a little bit on the bottom as well. So I'm just going to paint some of that in, and that should make it look a bit more contrasty and less artifacty. I'm also going to come down to the layer that has the leg in focus, the back leg, so this one, and I'm just going to paint some of that in as well. That should do. You can also do the same on this side. So as you can see, there's sort of like a halo around the antenna. It's a lot brighter than the actual leg, and that is why I'm correcting it. I'm trying to make it, trying to bring back the original sort of color and contrast and get rid of this halation around the antenna. And the pixels brush is great because even if you slightly go over the antenna, it doesn't harshly sort of paint what you're painting onto the antenna. I forgot to mention as well, you can actually come down to your slabs and you can just paint the slabs into your image. So let's say, for example, the leg looks great in this slab, which it kind of does. You can just go onto the slab and then paint that into your image as well. So up here looks, there's a spot I need to fix. The leg was sort of going through the other leg. We don't want that. So we'll paint that there, get rid of that. And let's just double check some other areas. So yeah, this leg image, we can maybe come down to the edge here and just sharpen that up a little bit. There we go. And yeah, maybe around here as well. Yeah, there's a bit of halation there, a bit bright. So we're on the DMAP slab layer. This one looks good, slab number 5. And then paint that in. Now you might think this is a bit tedious doing this, but if you stacked the image normally, just by stacking all 76 frames in one go, then there would be loads more artifacts and you'd have to spend a lot more time doing retouching like this. This leg here is a little bit transparent, so I've just gone onto slab 3 and I'm going to paint that in as well. I think I'm happy with how everything looks now. So once you're finished retouching, you come up to edit and then commit retouching. And then when you export your image, make sure you select your retouched image. So this one down here, and then file, save output images, and then use the same settings as before. Save image. I'm just going to save it in exports. I'll just call it YouTube video. What I'd usually do now is bring the image into Photoshop and then do a few little adjustments. I might do some clone stamping and stuff around the edges of the subject if I wasn't able to fix certain areas in the retouching tab in Serene Stacker. And I'll also do a bit of sharpening and maybe even change the exposure a tiny bit. But yeah, I'm not going to go into that in this video because I've done that in the previous 2 editing videos I've made. So if you're interested in that, then go check those out. I'll leave a link somewhere, maybe up the top of the corner or something. That might pop up on screen now. Never done that before. Or I'll leave it down below in the comments. So why exactly does slabbing work? Focus stacking seems to struggle when there's overlapping details and there's confusion between frames. Slabbing reduces the complexity of the stacking, it improves alignment, and it reduces artifacts. Instead of asking the software to solve a huge puzzle at once, you break the puzzle down into smaller sections. Slabbing is a simple trick, but it can make a massive difference when you're working with large stacks. Since I started using it, my stacks are cleaner and I'm spending way less time retouching. Let me know down below in the comments if you've tried slabbing before, and I'd like to know what software you like to stack on as well. As always, all the equipment used in today's video will be linked down below in the description, and those are affiliate links, so if you buy through those, I'll get a small commission at no extra cost to you, which will help support the channel. But with all that said and done, I'm going to end today's video here. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.